Okay, can you hear me, Lynn?
I can.
Oh, perfect. Hi. This is Lynn Roll. She's part of our Women in Medicine series for the BE collection. This is 3/10/2021. And thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
So I'm just going to ask you a few questions to talk about your career and your life as a lesbian, as it affected your career, your choices. But I'll start with a simple question like, where were you born?
Holyoke, Colorado.
Oh, where's that in relationship to Denver? The only place I know in Colorado.
Yeah, well, it's like way northeast.
Mm-hmm. Are you do you have siblings?
I do. I have two brothers and a sister.
Where do they live?
One, I don't know where he is. One is in Phoenix, Arizona, and the other one is just south of Seattle here.
What occupations have you held prior to being a nurse?
Occupations or jobs? And babysat, and then I went to nursing school, and I was a pinky too. Yes, pinkies were volunteers at the hospital. We had little pink uniforms.
I remember those.
Do you?
I didn't wear one, but I remember seeing them.
Yeah, that was fun.
So did that experience inspire you to become a nurse?
It did. Yeah, it did. It got me familiar with the hospital and how it worked in a different way than I had experienced before.
Had you had prior experience in terms of your own health, or?
Not my own health, but my mother. My mother died and spent a lot of time in the hospital.
Huh.
So that was kind of my, being a nurse was not the thing I wanted to do.
Really?
I didn't want anything to do with any of that. So,
after that, right.
But
is that in Colorado?
No, that was here in Oregon when that happened. Yeah, I wasn't in Colorado that long.
No,
no. Yeah, mostly I've been on the West Coast somewhere. Most of my life.
Where did you take your training? Nursing?
In Portland, Oregon, at a 3-year school called Emmanuel Hospital School of Nursing. Mm-hmm.
Did you enter a certain field of nursing after your training? Or?
ICU, I guess, was what I did first, because I worked for pay while I was a student, and I worked in the ICU, and I got familiar with that, and it kind of became home. And so when I graduated, I was still there in Portland for a while, and I worked for pay there. So that's what I started to do when I came to Washington, and then we had a nursing strike. So
really, I never heard of a nursing strike in Washington.
Yeah, in Seattle.
So you went out on strike, you mean?
Pardon me?
As a nurse, you went out on strike?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Okay. I understand that.
Yeah. Yeah.
How long did that last?
Oh, I don't remember for sure, but it was quite a long time. Months. Yeah. I ended up getting a different job.
That long? Wow. What was the different job?
I went from working in the ICU, which was covered by the union and that. So I was out on strike, but I got a job in community health, home care.
As an RN? As a nurse?
Yes. As a supervisor of home health aides. Yeah.
So did you come out as a lesbian during your training, afterwards?
Afterwards. Well, in the middle, between my 3-year nursing program and my 2 more years at the university.
When was the first time as a young person, or did you think, maybe I'm a lesbian?
I kind of wondered a bunch through high school.
Do you have any family negativity or positivity about being this?
Well, my foster family, he was a minister.
Mhm.
So they weren't real happy about it, and we didn't really talk about it all that much.
Did they know about it?
Yeah. I mean, because there were only women,
Foster home?
Yeah. No, there were only women that I was involved with and
I see.
interested in or talking about or whatever. So yeah.
How long were you in the foster home?
From the time I was, well, from the time my mother died when I was 11, basically. I was in foster homes until I was 18.
Oh, how about your siblings? Were they also?
They actually, the three of them were adopted, so they went to adoptive homes.
You didn't get adopted
I didn't want to be adopted.
because?
Hmm?
How come?
I don't know for sure. I just never wanted. I never
Did you
wanted
have
to
a
be.
choice? Did you have a choice? Foster care or adoption?
Um, not necessarily. I don't know,
But you
but
were
I
glad
didn't.
not to be adopted.
I wasn't. Yeah, I wasn't gonna go there. Yeah, foster homes was. I was old enough. I was gonna get through it, and I did.
I'm good, yeah. Hey, you still have contact with your foster parents?
I do. Uh-huh.
Uh, so you took your training in Portland. Then how did you get to Seattle?
I came up here to go to the University of Washington to get my bachelor's degree things. And then I worked, and then the strike happened, and then I didn't work, and then I got a different job. So that all happened within, a year and a half.
You've had a lot of jobs.
Yeah, I have.
Sounds like you were very hireable. Good
Yeah.
quality.
Well, I've just been lucky, I guess, that I've had enough good skills and could translate them into a lot of different things that it just worked out that way. And I got bored.
I don't see.
Yeah.
How would you see yourself? How would you describe yourself during those years when you were so marketable?
When those years,
you were so marketable in terms of jobs.
How would I describe myself?
What qualities do you think got you?
Well, I had fresh new information, being a new grad and all that. I had skills from working in the ICU and, a couple of different places by then. I had, University of Washington was a great nursing school. Doris Carnevale and Dio Little come from here, and they're well-known nursing educators. So I was lucky to know them and to be there when they were there. Yeah.
The reason I ask that is because part of the mission of this BE collection is to educate young women who are taking the direction about what gets you there, besides just putting in your time.
Yeah.
It's more than that. It's education, it's enthusiasm.
Yeah, I was a good student. I was interested. I wanted to see I knew what I didn't want, but I didn't know what was all possible, really. So I just kind of moved from one little interest to another little interest to a job to a whatever. It had its own life,
Seems to, doesn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't like I thought I was just going to be in the ICU. But then all these other things happened for all these different reasons, and there were many paths to follow. Yeah, most everything's been in Seattle. Oh, and so my job in Germany, and I was looking at the Sunday paper. Who looks in the Sunday paper anymore? But that was a while ago. That was a while ago. But so I looked at this. There was this job. It said nurse case manager needed for job in Germany. And I went, what?
I can do that.
So I got on the phone. I mean, because I've been doing case management stuff for years in the jail, in the public health, in this, whatever. So, yeah, I got hired.
What's your favorite role in nursing? Back on
My favorite what?
role.
Role?
Like, yeah.
I think probably the early days in public health, but it's just a whole different way of approaching people in their homes than how it's done in facilities.
So what inspired you to become a nurse?
Well, I wasn't really inspired. It was more a mundane kind of thing to be able to do to support myself, and then I could figure out what else I needed to do.
I found that in interviewing various women that awareness of you're going to have to support yourself as a lesbian, comes pretty early.
It does, yeah.
I think
that was my first goal. I needed to be able to do something that was mine, that I could manage, that gave me control, or some amount anyway.
Money, well, I know, but I agree with that.
Yeah.
A little positive direction, but it's a good thing to think about. You have questions you'd like to ask me?
Wow. I bet you've heard a lot of great stories.
Oh, this is why we started this, because I like people's stories.
Well, I just think of people that I've known as like, they wanted to be a nurse or whatever from the time they were 2.5. And that was their whole vision of how life was going to be. And I didn't really take that on. Life brings you opportunities, and you make choices.
Well, how do you center yourself? What brings you peace?
My garden. Yeah. I've missed it for the last few months, but that centers me in so many ways.
Did you take training in that?
I did.
Did you?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What did
horticultural certificate from the 2-year program? Yeah.
Wonderful.
One of the things I did during interims was have my own business as a landscape designer. So did a lot of not so much designs for people, but went through the design process with them in their gardens about, what they were interested in, or what the issues were, or what was going to work and what wasn't. And how do you get a perfect garden if you hate to work there?
Right.
Some people have never figured that out. It's like,
True.
If you hate gardening, don't
try it.
Yeah.
Like that. I like the garden too. I don't have the experience you have.
Yeah. It's a wonderful centering. It's been my meditation and centering for a long time.
So are there any difficulties having been a lesbian or being lesbian in terms of your career or your interactions with people?
Not really.
So if you knew that you were going to die soon, what would you like your legacy that people would know or remember by?
I think as a person who did the things she needed to do to get through, and to have a bunch of fun along the way, and in many different areas that I wouldn't have thought.
Have you had any big obstacles towards your progress?
Big obstacles. I think, the first 20 years of my life.
Now that you're 25, right?
Yeah.
That's fast.
Yeah. Once I kind of had control, things were much, much better. But when you're a kid and you don't have control, it is what it is.
You see yourself as a survivor?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Good, great.
Mm-hmm.
So your relationship has with Susan, how
Mhm.
did you attach to that? How did you meet her?
I met her in a gay bar, actually. And they were starting a group. I can't even remember now. Lesbians, gay nurses
Uh-huh.
group. And so there were, I don't know, there were 5, maybe 10 of us at the most,
The group?
a group that
Small
got
group.
together for quite a while
Uh-huh.
and did that. And Susan and I were a part of that. And it kind of went from there.
Good place to meet people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Been together how long?
Hmm?
How long have you been together?
35 years.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
That's an accomplishment.
Yeah.
Well, I thank you for doing this interview. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good day. We'll talk to you later.
Okay, bye.
Bye.